Hey everyone, welcome back to Let the Dice Decide, volume, volume 5. I have my brain on me today, I promise. Will not be near as messy as last week's was. But the show where I, artist NerdBird, do a randomized character design. And with that being said, let's get rolling. And before I do, you guys can see I have a fantastic cosmic birdie dice tray. So happy. If ASMR was your thing, I am totally sorry. But alright, so masculine. Alright, and the D10% is the time period, so futuristic, realistic, so we gotta stay relatively within science. And for the D12, the art, I chose archetype. Caregiver. Alright. Then for the character base, scientist. Oh, well, shoot. Alright. And honestly, that's a pretty good one. I am totally all for it. So I will see you guys in a couple of minutes, and I also have lots of updates for you guys. So, yeah. All right, guys, welcome back. So yes, lots of updates before we get started, or as I'm writing down. Actually, I'll write down at the same time. So I know things have been busy. Uh, I will be updating my Instagram regularly with a lot of the homework. Like I've been throwing out little bits and pieces. So a lot of the homework from this semester looks really good. I do want to share it. Some of you guys have gotten sneak peeks on the YouTube. Um, but overall, yeah, you will start seeing me post a little bit more on Instagram. And also, with that being said, I know a lot of you cannot join me live, and some of you guys are watching after the fact. 'Cause some of us have class, some of us are on the other side of the world, or whatever, or some of us are even at work, whatever the case may be. The suggestion box that I put on my Twitch page, so if you go to my Twitch channel and hit the About Me, you will see a little suggestion box. If you guys ever have any questions that you want me to answer on the stream, please do not hesitate to put a question in there, and then on my next Let the Dice Decide stream, I will answer it. I did get a question in a personal DM And that one, I was like, you know what, I can answer that in full, but it's okay if I ask it on the stream. And they're like, yeah, but don't say it was me. And it's like, okay, like I want to do shout outs so badly. So, but that's okay. Anyway, um, so the question was, hold on, let me, can't write and talk at the same time. Scientist. I don't think that's how you spell scientist, but that's okay. All right, anyway. Um, so the question was, I am a young artist and I'm having trouble uh, finding new skills or developing new skills. And that is something we talk about a lot in the Drawaholics. One of the things that I do when I practice, well, normally when I'm just practicing, when I'm just trying to, keep my skills up and stuff like that, is I practice traditionally, first of all, because that helps build up my muscle memory, and it's a lot easier to do, and you're not worried about all the different layers and stuff. You just need a pencil and a paper, essentially. Um, and I also mainly do a lot of life studies when I practice. I generally do them timed. I try not to spend a whole lot of time on them because that forces me, kind of like with the dice decide stuff, I need to think quickly. And that builds up your communication skills, your visual, because that's all we're doing is we're just trying to visually communicate ideas. Um, and the other aspect of studying from life is you don't know how to draw it until you actually do. It's just like learning a new language. Until you actually start talking and start pronouncing new words and stuff like that, you're never going to actually learn how to speak the language. And just because you know what something looks like, that doesn't mean you know how to draw it. So if you want to draw a lot of foxes, do a lot of fox life studies. You would be amazed at how much that helps you improve. And the other thing is, get comfortable with a little bit of discomfort. Because we find our comfort zones and, we're scared to leave them because it's like, I know what works, I know what's comfortable for me. I know what's safe, essentially. And when you're trying to learn and grow and build up your skills, you're going to be tapping into new areas that may feel scary at first, but pushing yourself past that nervousness, past that little innate fear we have when we leave our comfort zone, and just simply practicing, even if it looks bad at first, like, yes, go for it, do it. Like, don't dip your toe in the water, just straight on cannonball into the pool. And yeah, so I hope that answers your question. And like I said, if you aren't able to join me live, please put a question in the suggestion box. And once again, I am super happy to answer those at any time. And then, yeah, if you're live with me, post questions in the chat. Like, or even if it's like just like about movies and stuff, because yeah, there's so much stuff that we could talk about on the air, and I'm totally fine with that. Um, but with that, let's go ahead and get started. So, I mean, honestly, this is just gonna be a fun. This is just gonna be a fun dude. I do like the thought of him being a researcher. Um, okay, me being a nerd and especially enjoying the holy heck out of science, and like whether it's biology or microbiology or physics, astrophysics, like I just ah I just love exploring that stuff. So I'm gonna say he's gonna need props. He's going to probably oh, and feel free to jump in with suggestions. um So props, yeah, he's just gonna need equipment, honestly. I'm gonna say he's somewhat of a, he can sometimes go out in the field, so I want him to be a little bit durable. But you know what? I'm gonna put him as slender. And if he's futuristic, we're gonna give him some sleek clothing. And All right. I guess let's go ahead and get started. And we're probably just going to do a standard standing pose for him. And I always start with the heads. If you have been looking in how to draw or just trying to build up your skills, um, starting with the head is a great. It just became a standard of measurement for the human body. You know, whether you're using reference or you're just drawing from your head, you can always rely on proportions to help you to get things to fit. So idealized proportions are 8 heads tall. Um, the realistic is 7.5 hours. Oh, James, hi. Yes, yes, it's Wednesday. If it makes you feel any better, I would. It does not feel like a Wednesday, but it is. And and I also saw that not James, Jeffrey. Sorry, James is on my brain. Because he just posted in our lounge, and he's like, "Oh, hold on, let me pull it up." He said he's overposting reference when he has to make something that he can't make from one reference. That's a normal. I know, right? Yep. So it's normal to use multiple references when you're designing something. Me, I'm just going off of my head, and I'm not so that's where it's like I'm really exercising some serious muscles here. And uh oh, okay. But so James, he talked about references. Oh, and thank you, Tiny. I'll be happy to have you on the stream. But so James was talking about using references when doing art. That is a totally normal thing. The best ever, uh, the best ever saying that I have ever heard in regards to references is, yes, you have to reference because we don't know things, how to draw things. Initially, innately, we don't know how to draw them. So it's good to study beforehand. It's good to have some on hand as you're working on projects. But also, actually, I feel like I did his head just a smidge too small. Uh, but the saying goes, to use one is stealing, to use many is referencing. It's like, oh, I love that. Yes, because you can find all sorts of different ideas. Like Pinterest is a rabbit hole. We all know and love Pinterest. So, yes, using several references over the course of one project it's an industry norm. Like, there are some projects that I've seen that have had, about 100 references. And when you get into the larger, more in-depth projects, team projects and stuff like that, references also help the team understand what the artist is going for as you guys are working on a project. Yeah, and plus referencing also opens up a lot of ideas. Like, I bet if I was referencing right now, but if I did reference on the stream, you guys would just see me flip through Pinterest all day. It's like, that's no fun. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to stay really sketchy this time. I hope you guys don't mind. I do like trying to bring it to a relatively full finish, though, just because I know that's what I need to work on as an artist. You will never hear me say I am the best. You'll never hear me say that I am great. I am growing. I am learning. I am still working on my skills. I'm just not afraid to show it. That's all. That's the only difference. Take pride in your growth. It's like, I bet what we see now is not going to be the same that we see, um, in a few months or next year. It's going to be better because I am growing. And let me see here. And Turney, I hope I'm saying that right. I'm sorry if I butcher names and usernames and stuff like that. I am really bad about that, just normally. Um, but feel free to correct me at any point. The If you have any questions or you want to contribute to the design, you have ideas that you want to see executed. I try to stay very vocal when I'm doing this, just so you guys can see my train of thought, where I'm currently at, and you guys can add to it. That is totally, totally welcome. Also, I do tend to nerd out. Like, I actually have a little bit of a rant that I want to go on. Do you guys mind me ranting for a second here? um, Jeffrey, we are drawing a scientist, a relatively futuristic scientist. So this one's gonna be pretty fun. Um, but I just recently saw the news that Disney Plus is gonna be rebooting Firefly. I am not happy about that. Glasses or goggles? I agree. Eye protection. Oh, dang it. Wrong layer. So I am a huge Firefly fan, guys. Like, this is a known thing. I'm a huge, huge Firefly fan. And part of what makes Firefly great. Oh! Don't ever apologize for that. Ever, ever, ever. Always be drawing. Um, but yeah, I'm a huge Firefly fan, and part of what made it great was the chemistry between the characters, between the actors. Like, that was 90% of what made it awesome. It was just such a fun show, and I'm still mad at the Sci-Fi Channel for ruining it. Yeah, the Firefly is kind of like a cult favorite. Because when it was initially aired, they had Sci-Fi aired the episodes out of order, and there was a whole bunch of other stuff going on, but this was one of the biggest ones. So people that would go on to watch this new show, they would not fully understand, like what was going on, and they were often lost. Like they couldn't get a hold of the storyline and stuff like that, and so it was very hard to keep track of on the when it was initially aired. Because of that, it didn't receive a lot of initial popularity, and they did not create a second season. And it's got Nathan Fillion is one of the big names on it. I mean, it's so fun. It's pretty much just like a space cowboy opera. Like the story is pretty rudimentary story, but the character chemistry is just so beautiful and so fun. And they're talking about rebooting it on Disney Plus. So again, I am not terribly happy about this. It's like, yes, we all really wanted a second season, and because they, heard that people who did become fans of Firefly, even amidst all the crazy, um, would like a second season. They didn't produce a second season. What they did was they made the movie Serenity. And I'll answer that in a second. Let me just finish with my rant so we can close that out. So the movie Serenity increased the popularity a lot, and it closed out a few of the plot lines that we had going in the TV series. It was continued in graphic novels and stuff like that. Joss Whedon has recently picked back up, and they are producing new stories in graphic novel and novel format. Overall, it's just like, it's a fan favorite for sure. Um, but it's not one that is like overly popular, so it's definitely one of those cult favorites where it's like, if you know what it is, you're a huge fan type thing. Um, anyway, yeah, so I'm very nervous about them talking about rebooting it, especially because one of the characters' actors died. So, rest in peace, because we love you, Shepard. We missed you. Uh, there's, and a lot of the characters are so much older now. It's hard to envision how they could reboot it successfully and still maintain a lot of the energy that it had that makes it, as good as it is. So I'm super, super nervous about that. Okay, we're gonna give him a jacket. I needed to do a different color here. So the headset that I am using is a Sennheiser. Actually, I got the box up here. Or Sennheiser, not Sennheiser. So, I keep the box because I like to take it with me when I go places. And so I'm like, oh, you're going in the box before you go in the bag. And I personally love it, but it has a volume control on the side and stuff like that, and it works. It works, and it has the dual AUX ports, um, so that makes it so much more in depth for the PC. But it does have an adapter to a single AUX port, if ever I need to use it, like on my iPad or something like that. What am I gonna do for his jacket? Hmm. Oh, and we gotta give him. Actually, if he's relatively futuristic, you know what? I hope you guys don't mind. I'm gonna go a little bit DBZ here. I'm gonna give him a headset. Oops. There we go. So he's just gonna have a little bit of a headset. Haha. Okay. You know what? I'm going to say, let's give him a mid-length jacket. Let's have it open. And you know what? Yeah, let's give it some shape. You know what? This is gonna be a jacket vest. Because we can. But I am gonna give him little glove gauntlet things. want to go fingerless, or do we want the gloves to have fingers? I just need to clean that up a bit because I can't make sense of it. Yep, under drawings mean nothing if you can't read it. Whole point is for you, l'artiste, to be able to read it so you know what you're drawing. Alright, he's got sleek clothing. You know, we're gonna give him a turtleneck. And we're gonna give him low pants too. And I'm gonna say he has a utility belt on his jacket. Yep. And we're gonna put another prop there. We'll figure out what we want to do. And I'm gonna say he has tight pants. Actually, I'm gonna add that sleekly. He's gonna have knee guards, but they're not going to have volume. They're just gonna kind of be a part of his scientist armor. Yeah, that looks like that suits him. Alright. We're gonna give him some nice cheekbones. Some nice high cheekbones. Actually, if he's got high cheekbones, let's also give him a very angled jaw. Now he's not gonna have much jewelry or anything, because unless it provides a function with a lot of scientific research and stuff like that, having accessories can often hinder or sometimes endanger the scientist. Like they say, when you're working in in a car engine, don't ever wear a ring, or with heavy machinery, don't ever wear a ring. That is a very, it's just workplace, workforce safety. Um, and like when you have a lot of excess stuff, you also run into like the potential of, okay, if you're working with, biological or chemical materials, if you're wearing a bracelet and you splash some on the bracelet, uh, that could not only cause damage to the bracelet, but like if it's acid, it's going to be harder to get off. If it's um, or if it's a contaminant, you're not going to really know until it's too late. So that's where you see like a lot of doctors and stuff take off all their jewelry before going into an OR, and yeah, it's just workplace safety. And you know what? I'm gonna make him a bit tired. He's gonna have a tired line. Because he stays up all night doing what he loves. Oh, Godspeed! Thank you for the follow. I really just wanted to say that in context. Pun intended. But let's see here. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like the angled brow for him. That works. Let's see here. And he probably, yeah, I'm going to say he probably doesn't have a lot of free time, so I'm not going to be too worried about giving him too much personalization. He is a functional individual. Function over aesthetic. However you want to say that. Oh, thank you, Godspeed. Yep, I'm chipping away at it. Honestly, the nerd inside me is just happy that I get to do a scientist. Especially after watching Alien Worlds. Oh my god, the science bit in me is just like, all the fun things. Oh, and speaking of watching and nerding out and stuff like that, Alicia, I have not watched Virgin River yet because free time. I don't know what that is right now, but that's fine. Actually, this is technically my free time because I do like to do random stuff in my free time anyway. But, so I will watch the first 3 episodes of Virgin River probably this weekend, since the semester ends on Saturday. I can live with that. Let's give him some... Oh, I gotta work on his hairline. So I was thinking we can just do like a messy wave. He does care a little bit about his appearance. Not a whole lot, but... He does to a degree. So I'm going to say he does go to a barber. He wants something that's low maintenance as to not really spend a whole lot of time. So it is going to be messy. Because he literally just throws some gel in it, waves it around. There we go. I feel like if he did listen to music, it would be something like this. If you do want to seek higher education in arts, I recommend our school, the Academy of Art University. Not just because, school, but community colleges in art, I see a lot of people transfer in, and it's like, okay, they can provide some insight into the, a lot more in depth into the art industry and stuff like that. However, a lot of them transfer because it either wasn't fulfilling or it wasn't quite what they were looking for, like particularly people going in for game concept art design and stuff like that. I see them transferring in. And the Academy of Art University was founded just for art. So it is definitely worth it. We have instructors that have all worked in the industry. A lot of them are actually very popular, and it's like, oh my god, you're my teacher. But all the classes are broken down, where like one student was comparing her community art class to the foundations, which we take, like a dozen foundations classes, and that's like the first couple of weeks they explored figure drawing, the next couple of weeks they did a still life study thing, the next couple of weeks they did portraiture, and it's like we get a whole semester on figure drawing, we get a whole semester on analysis of form, we get a whole semester on, or a whole class rather, not semesters, class on just everything is in its own class, and you get lots of time and instructor, in-depth instructor, commitment to teaching you how to do the class theme. And so, like, my classes next semester are stylized character design. I am super happy for that one. That one is mainly geared towards games, so kind of a little bit like what I'm doing here. And then I have a portfolio class for fantasy illustration, which can kind of get more into like the Magic the Gathering level classes. Um, oh, here's another thing about the Academy of Art University I love. I never graduated high school. I got a GED equivalent in the 10th grade, and I still got in. They take because they understand that some people are not going to have the same, resources or experiences in life and stuff like that. And they know that everyone has to start somewhere. So there's no portfolio requirement. Really, it's only the GED equivalent minimum. If you still graduated high school, they will need a transcript for that. FAFSA does step in and help out with a lot of the tuition if you go full time. So there is a lot of things that you can do to still go to that school. Like, it's very, very open, and it's very welcoming to young artists. And like, one of the reasons I picked it was honestly because of it was founded before the Great Depression. and it survived the Great Depression, essentially. And, it survived economic crisis, and it's still going strong. And I see a lot of the, names that come out of it, and a lot of the companies that hire directly out of the school and stuff like that. Like Blizzard works one-on-one with the school for internships for students. Uh, and Jeffrey also in the chat, he starts in the spring. Your butt. Don't lie. Don't you lie. There's no lying on the stream. So I'm just letting you know that there is an option out there that will give you a really well-rounded education as well as prepare you for professional art. Whatever that professional art may be. Yes! I'm excited for you, dude! What? Alright, what do we want to do for his... You know what? Yeah, I like the thought of it being something that can fold up, but then it folds out over his eye. There we go. No, just NerdBird. Just NerdBird. I never, ever, ever turn down the chance to learn new things. Or get corrected, or, admit that I was wrong on something or anything like that. Because I always want to learn and improve myself. I used to have birds, and we still do have a bird. He's not cockatiel. Conure. He's a green conure. Okay, so with webpage, manga, comics, and everything like that, there is actually a degree geared just for comics. A whole degree just geared towards making comics. The parts that get a lot of people that I have seen, or a lot of young artists, is it is actually a lot of work. It's a lot of work to build up your skills and your ability to produce in a timely manner. So, it's like here, I'm working on building up my speed. I'm working on, building up my ability to quickly communicate clothing and still have it readable. So it's like there's a lot of little stuff that I'm doing that actually contributes to when I do graphic novels. And narrative is a huge component of it as well. So being able to communicate expressions and mood and dynamics and stuff like that. Um, no. Um, that because there's a lot in it, that's where, like, I'm happy that those that want to get serious into comics, whether it's web comics or graphic novels or superhero comics like DC and Marvel, um it's there for you. And like some of the one of the instructors, like, I love a lot of the comics instructors to death. They're all so amazing. And I found out this semester that one of our instructors is actually Carl Potts. You may know him from DC's Guide on Creating Comics. And he is actually one of the instructors and helps write a lot of the courses. But like, I've had 4 comic instructors, and none of them disappointed at all. And anytime we cover comics, like in my writing for comics class and developing scripts for comics and stuff like that, we actually go over the differences more in detail between web comics and page-to-page comics. I already beat you to the punch, Jeffrey. I already beat you to the punch. But when it's in Messenger, this one. Oh, wait, I did it wrong. Ah, there we go. And actually, a lot of what I said earlier. So one of the questions that was asked for me to answer was being a new and young, artist, and it's like you want to get better. I answered that at the beginning of this, so when this ends and stuff like that, I mean, like I could repeat it and regurgitate it, um, but it comes down to don't be afraid to work hard. Don't be afraid to try drawing new things and stuff like that. So I highly recommend you go back and watch that um, portion of it. Because the worst thing you can do when you're trying to develop your skills, where you say, I want to be able to do that thing, I want to be able to post regularly on webtoons. Let's throw that out because I actually really like webtoons. Um, that your comfort zone is your worst enemy. You're gonna have things that you like to draw or ways that you're most comfortable drawing, and in order to grow as an artist, you need to be able to step outside of your comfort zone and try new things and do new things. And it's going to be scary at first, or it's going to be uncomfortable. Find comfort in a little bit of discomfort, and your skills will skyrocket. Because it does take time. It does take trying new and potentially scary things at first, and it does take practice. Practice through repetition. It's actually a lot more technical at its core, um, than we are, than we normally think. That we're like always like, oh, I only draw when I feel like it, or I have to be in the right mood to draw. And it's like, actually, no, it's as simple as putting your pencil to the paper. And like, to me, that was a comfort because, especially when I first started, I was an emotional wreck. And I'm like, no, I want to get to work. I want this to make this happen. What do I need to do to make this happen? Oh, you need to practice every day. Oh, you need to be on top of your homework. Oh, this, oh, that. And it's like, let's do it. Heck yes! Ah! All right. Mod me to follow you. Because, yes, drawing in front of people is nerve wracking, especially like public on the internet and stuff like that. Because there's like either a certain level of expectations, or we are like, oh my god, what if I mess up? That's where it comes down to owning your mistakes, owning your growth. Yeah, you're gonna shoot. You should have seen me last week. Last week I was a mess. I was just out of it. Definitely did not have enough coffee. Um, and realize like that's okay. That doesn't make you a bad person. If you don't understand anatomy right away and stuff, it's okay. It's not a big deal because you're learning and growing, and what matters isn't that you didn't make the mistake. What matters is that you made a mistake. Learn from it. And it's like, okay, what can I do better on the next one? And then also realize that a lot of stuff is going to take time to build and grow too. Like becoming an awesome artist does not happen overnight by any means. Oh no. What were they raging about? Just out of morbid curiosity. Oh no. Yep, that'll do it. And Jeffrey, 42. Oh, that's right. We said we were going to do a vest for him. Here I am doing a sleeve fold. It's the ultimate answer. You can't go wrong with it. want to say he has an ID tag here. It's going to be like a futuristic ID tag, so it's going to be like one of those magnetic RFID readers. Or maybe it even has like a little sample of his DNA that it scans. Well, it probably does like retinal scanners and stuff like that during his time. So for the draw, once again, the circle is just a starting point for you. Don't follow it verbatim if it looks like it's off. So that's what I did is, I put in you can see here, my underdrawing, that my original circle was, actually, let me get on a new layer. There we go. That's a little bit more visible. All right, so you can see this is generally where my horrible circle was. Could I have sat here and plotted it out a little bit more accurately? Yes. In this case, I was able to find it right away where it's like, yes, I want his jaw to be around here. If I'm going off of a reference or a life study, I will compare and contrast. And, based on where I put his eyes and his nose, I will sit here and say, you know what, maybe it does need to be a little bit further out, or maybe it needs to be a little bit further in. So that's your observation to your hand speech. It all comes down to intention. So sketches are sorely underrated. Like, I'm super happy that they're becoming more into popularity and stuff like that. Anyway, but so like here, this is just a sketch to me. This is just relatively rough. I just want to be able to make a fun character and have him look somewhat decent. But the biggest muscles that I'm exercising here are just my ability to put together a coherent character in a quick amount of time. Can we read what kind of fabric he's wearing, or even what his clothes are? Or is that something that we need to work at and I need to explain? For doing finished pieces in art, that is definitely a lot more of a gray area. It really depends on what you consider to be a finished piece of art. Because the level of finishes that people go to may vary. Look at the difference between Sarah Scribble's comics and Magic the Gathering art. Those are two different levels. Or two different levels of finish, but they each knew their intention on what they wanted and what they wanted to create. Magic the Gathering art is like, we want to create realistically believable, but fantastic characters and creatures and environments and stuff like that. So they're full paintings, but they also need to be readable at a small size. Sarah Scribbles is like, oh, this is a fun encounter. Um, so it really just depends on what you want to create. And there are going to be, like, especially in painting and doing a lot more rendered work and stuff like that, there is going to be what is called the ugly phase. And that is going to take up 80% of the piece while you're working on it. And that's fine, because you put everything down and you're like, okay, now let's start refining and make sure the lighting's correct and yada yada yada. The ugly phase is It's fine. It's a thing. It's industry wide. Your goal is to make it not so ugly anymore, essentially. And it's like when you're so that's where sometimes work in progress is really niche, um, because yeah, it's a work in progress. It's not the final piece by any means. Okay, there we go. I liked. You know what? I'm gonna. Oh, I'm just putting random script there as well. There we go. And sorry, I almost lost track of time. Um, Make sure you have the right glasses or. So I just have readers. They're like plus point 0.5, like it's super minor. Or no, maybe I'm up to 1.5. But that's called ice, and that's where taking uh, regular breaks throughout your projects and throughout your studies is super super helpful. And that's where that's where I'm about to take a 5-minute break. That's me stepping away and giving my eyes a break, because eye strain and sometimes if you have posture and stuff like is equally as important as what you do to practice. So you got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of your needs. Everyone's needs are a little bit different, but eye strain, posture, not physically working out. If you don't have a regular job that gives you, that physical exertion, then you need to implement workouts. Uh, they're right here. I was proving a point, but it's like so I can still read without my glasses. I can still see without my glasses, but when I'm looking close up for long periods of time, my eyes get really tired and they will stop focusing. That must be as I'm getting older. My eyes are like, yeah, we've been working too hard, so I'm just gonna go over here and take a nap. And it's like, no, 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 I need you, So it's just something that I do to help my eyes because if I get too much eye strain, I actually start getting headaches. So by just getting, at least for me, me getting little reading glasses helped alleviate some of that eye strain for prolonged periods of time. But yes, so speaking of art breaks, um, hey, when my hair starts turning gray, it's gonna look classy AF. Just saying. But 5-minute break, guys. I will see you guys in a little bit. And we're back. And I'm back too. And I did not abandon you. I have bodily needs because I drink way too much coffee in the morning. But also, it is good when you're working to especially take a step away from your art. Especially when you're working on a piece that you want to bring up to a finish. Um, Take a break. Take, 5-10 minute break. Step away. Don't even look at it. And then when you look at it again, you look at it with refreshed eyes and a refreshed mind. And like when people are doing large paintings, they will sometimes put it down for a whole day and then pick it back up again because you don't really see what you miss. Like here, I'm adding ARM computer. So I was like, oh, you know what? Looking at it, I was like, he's a scientist? This is something. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want me to tone it down some? I can take it down a notch. I can shut up. Really? Really? Of all the questions you ask? He doesn't have a gun because he doesn't need a gun because he can easily just use one of his tools to kill someone. If he needs to. But he's not really a fighter. He's a researcher. But let's see here. Oh, actually, this is going to... Oh, it is going to cover up his fingers a little bit. Oh, well. That is what it is. Ah! Too far! Alright, what should we do for his tools? This one should be like a... Let's say it's a rod of some sort. Maybe it's a thermometer, maybe it helps him create holes. Maybe he does geology. Put a smaller one right here. Maybe it's a test tube. Yeah. Stick a little memory eraser. There you go. Here's your little memory eraser. Let's see here. Alright. I'm going to have a large computer reader of some sort here. Let's say it clips on, so I add some folds there. All right. Let me see here. So if this is hanging on the inside of a pocket, we're gonna have the outside over here. And you know what? We're gonna put a thermos here because coffee. We're gonna give him a coffee thermos. It's the little things in life. I am not sorry. Actually, make this So I kind of like want it. You know what? Yeah, we're gonna make this not a duster, but there we go. Yeah, that's fine. I'll live with it. I don't really like covering stuff up, but that's a thing. I was gonna say, you better be! He is a functional person. If it is torn, then it is not capable of performing at its most optimal. So therefore, he would replace it and or fix it. Because also resourcefulness. Alright. He's also a caregiver. Don't forget that. So he has to have a nice personality. He can't be too badass. It's not a ray gun, it's a laser, so he can take samples as need be. Actually, I'm gonna give him like giant belt loops. I don't know why, I just feel like giant belt loops would be a thing for him. Okay. He's a caregiver for the earth and humanity is the problem. Alright. Okay, so his boots, once again, he's not going to have a whole lot of accessories and stuff dangling out because that could get in the way. But, so they're going to be like sleek, futuristic, like rain boots. Shh! They have a tracker in his ID tag. Shh. Oh, part of me thinks we're having way too much fun with this one, but that's okay. Alright. Okay, and I'm gonna give him just some sort of gravity. I'm gonna do the gravity on another layer. Haha, because layers. Alright. Alright, let's start playing around and just stylizing him, giving him some... We're gonna give him some shadows, we're gonna emphasize things. We're gonna add some varied winelets. That's a thing. Yep, we're gonna add some swagger. Why? Because we can. Because I'm not derping today, so totally more in the zone. And I'm going to try and leave a lot of the construction lines in there, or my little sketchy lines in there. Okay. I also feel like you know what? I feel like giving him a tattoo. And I know exactly what tattoo I'm gonna give him. Carbon elemental symbol. Alright, let's look at the chemical symbol for carbon. No, not those. Not those. Give me the... Oh, there's a term for it. Come on. Okay, that's methane. Oh, it is a base, isn't it? So... You know what? Screw it. We're just gonna do water. Are you gonna show me a compound, or do I need to rack my brain? Ugh, fine. Alright. Two negatives, positives. Oh, there we go. Oh, you know what? Better yet, we're gonna do the chemical compound for caffeine. Alright. I'll have the compound. So, because I'm gonna give him a tattoo, I'm also gonna adjust his shoulder guards here. I'm gonna take these away. Well, actually that one can stay, but this one's going away. So we're giving him a tattoo. So... Oh, where'd my compound go? Come back! There we go. Oh, Geek Fairy! Welcome, welcome! Feel free at any point in any space or time or dimension to geek out. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do... Here's the oxygen. Okay, look, I need to get a little bit closer for this. Not that close. Actually, there we go. So because this is a tattoo, we are not going to see all of it, nor are we going to see it flat on, so I need to remember to wrap around the form. And the next thing I'm gonna do, because this is I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I should give him a barcode. I'm like, oh well, if he's also a scientist, screw it. We're gonna do both. All right. Sorry, getting sidetracked. Squirrel! Alright, if this is the barcodes, these need to have a defined bottom. Like, I could probably do a barcode generation and make a barcode that will actually read as coffee, but that would be for if I pushed him into a final design, because I am that level of nerdy that I will put Easter eggs like that in something like this. Like, you have been warned. Oh yeah, that totally looks like a tattoo he would get. What do you guys think? A caffeine tattoo with part barcode for a scientist. I just want to state here, for the record, I do not condone spam. So if ever you guys see spam pop up on my channel, don't even pay it any attention. Because I certainly don't GAF. If it didn't fit, I would either redraw it or remove it. It's also like the most detailed thing on him, but that's fine. Alright, now I'm just adding some sketchy swagger. Oh, I didn't finish out his headset. For shame. There we go. Let's... Yes! So he can access his... We're gonna say they're more visual aids. Like he's got an AI analyzer. Of course he's got a little microphone on this. But this thing right here is the AI camera. And so with it, the AI is able to do infrared or even UV or heat, thermo, stuff like that. So it allows him to see things in a much more than normally humanly capable capacity. Live, as he's going out in the field, or if he is working with someone, he can get a breakdown of their health and their condition, their pulse, their temperature. As cordially as possible. I'm just gonna laser off your finger here for a second. This won't hurt a bit. I have no idea why you keep going to the mad scientist thing. Is it because you secretly dream of being a mad scientist? Okay, okay, okay. Scientists are direct. They are to the point. They don't want to waste time with formalities. So oftentimes they will be viewed as impolite or mad or angry because they aren't going to waste time on a lot of social formalities and communicating that, oh, I appreciate what you said. No, they have a purpose. And when they are not working on the purpose, they get irritated. Or they just don't want to waste time. So because of that, he may be perceived to be very blunt and not a nice person, but actually when you get to know him, he is really nice. He's just focused on what he is doing. But because of that, he probably is a bit of a loner. Like, he's probably used to people not wanting to be around him for very long and probably doesn't have any close friends. So, oh, we just made him lonely. Dang it. They're all watching you. Oh, yep, we pulled out the feels. But as long as he's working, he's happy. So they do say there is some power in being able to be alone, and he definitely embraces that to its fullest. In fact, sometimes he probably prefers to be alone because he doesn't have to worry about social dynamics. It's one less thing for him to worry about, one less thing that will probably get in the way or whatever. Oh, this guy's young. He's probably not so bad at that. He probably knows if he's going to waste time speaking, he's going to speak with a purpose. So he's probably going to know exactly what he wants to say in however much time he has deemed he wants to spend on speaking. Unless it's for the log. Maybe that's where we will really hear him just totally go on rants and totally be scatterbrained and just is when he's doing his research logs. You should do figure drawing normally anyway. Don't forget, later today, actually in an hour and a half, we have our workshop. So don't forget this time. Come and join the fun. Why is that not going away? Oh! I know what to do with life. All right, bye, bye, Jeffrey. I almost called you James again. I am so sorry. I got James on the brain. Especially because he isn't here. I'm gonna have to get on him on that. James, I missed you. Oh. No, you should come. I thought you were leaving. That's why I was like, oh, no, you should come to the workshop. And at least hang out. Because, yes. And actually, it won't be me doing it today. It will be Jordan. Yay! Very excited about that. I love watching him draw. He is a superstar. If y'all are wondering who I'm talking about, Jordan McCracken Foster or JMFCO on Instagram. Hold on, let me pull up his Instagram. jo.mc.fo. There we go. This is one of my good friends and another student at the Academy of Art University. He also just recently graduated with his master's, and his thesis made it into the spring show. And he is also working. Oh my god, he just got a job. I feel really bad now because I'm spacing on where he is working right now. Hold on. My brain is so bad. You can load at any time? There we go. So I totally recommend following him on Instagram anyway. Yes, he has started at DreamWorks. I wanted to say DreamWorks, but at the same time I'm like, wait a second, where is he? Cartoon Network or Pixar? Because I know 2 other students that also just recently got hired at those companies, and I am so proud of them. You will become dope because you have the work ethic and you want to learn. And those 2 alone will get you to where you want to be. Dope as AF. Actually, that's way too big. It takes a while because you have to reform your habits. You have to essentially you have to remove programming and upload new programming. So you have to uninstall and reinstall better habits. And when it comes to overcoming procrastination and whatever the defining reasons are for you, the biggest thing is you have to stay on top of yourself, and a lot of times you are going to feel like you're forcing yourself, but I guarantee after after the first week it gets easier, after the third week it gets even easier, and then after 3 months that habit will officially be completely uploaded to your new system. Yep. And reward yourself. Use gaming as a reward. Be like, okay, I want to get on Metal Gear. In order to get on Metal Gear, I need to do 2 hours of drawing. If I do 2 hours of drawing, I can get 1 hour of Metal Gear time. Or, like me nowadays, I still use the reward system, but it's more on a weekly basis as opposed to a daily basis. And I'll be like, okay, after I get all these projects done, then I'll game for the weekend. So you will totally get yourself back to it. But yes, uninstall, reinstall, and use the reward system. Generate your own reward system and hold yourself to it. Because the only person you're going to let down with the reward system is yourself. And that's the part where you got to keep in mind what you want to do and refresh your memory on what it is you enjoy so much about it. Like me, I enjoy creating and having fun. Exactly like this, actually. Like this, I don't feel like I'm working when I do it. Technical aspects anymore, the technicalities of actually doing it. I am legitimately just having fun. So it's like when sometimes I do end up relaxing with life studies. But when I relax, odds are this is exactly what I'm doing. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Except I'll be spending like way more time on it and just not giving myself a completion time and just. Whew. How are we doing on time? We are actually doing really good on time. Bam! Okay, so I do need to go in and define his legs a little bit more. Oh! Too close. Crotch shot! Hey, if you guys haven't met my character, here's his crotch. By the way, I didn't know if he had one. He does. Yes, you will see me at the workshop. Even though I'm not the one demoing, I will be there. For sure. You be there, or you be a poorly drawn square. No, you're doing it for yourself. If you need to think that you're doing it for me, then you're doing it for me. But I'm telling you, you are doing it for yourself. You're going to have fun. You're going to enjoy yourself. You're going to love watching Jordan draw. Like, especially watch him when he draws his figures. Like, that means angry face. Like every time you're going to be like, hi, I'm going to be like angry face. Especially because it's the last one of the year. So you don't have to worry about it next week. So at least for today, so you can see how the workshops operate and how many people get on there. That's fine. You can work on whatever you want to work on. The biggest part about the workshops is really just enjoying the community. Some people do come in because it is like a gym to us. It's an artist gym, but you can really work on whatever you want to work on. Yes. Even though next week is the eve of Christmas. Um, we're not super big on holidays anyway. And I know a lot of people that either don't celebrate it or don't really, for religious reasons, or they don't celebrate it because, they're loners, and it's like, yeah, I just really stick to online. I don't really have a family I go see or anything like that, and so I am happy working through the holidays. And New Year's does not fall on Wednesday either. So yeah, this week and next week, or in the week following, for sure, you will see me online and doing this on Wednesdays. My schedule is subject to change come January, but of course, I will keep everyone updated over my Twitter. Yes, you do, sir. So I will see you at the workshop, and you will be working on your heads, and all will be right in the world. Bye, Jeffrey. See you in a little bit. Oh. Oh, you know me way too well. And you don't have to be. We don't bite. Unless that's your king, which then we definitely won't. We'll be like, oh, we'll leave that to you and your future partner. You definitely don't need to be shy. And you'll probably end up being like James, who was shy at first, and then now James is like all over the place and coming to every event. And even I was shy when I first started, especially in the Drawaholics, because I was the first online student in the group ever. And so, like, I was especially shy. And it came down to, like, I would visit campus and go to a workshop on site. Because I'm like, I feel weird being online, but I've learned to embrace it and then also help build it for other online students. Yes, go. Sorry. Stop me from rambling on you. Go. Bye. Wait, what? Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, like, right now, no, because pandemic. Um, but, like, I was going on breaks, like, twice, 1 year, even 3 times a year. And we would do workshops and sketch crawls and stuff over the break while I was there. Yeah, when there is no pandemic. In the middle of the semester, it's a lot harder though, just because everyone is so busy. Um, but yeah, like you can even talk to your advisor and schedule tours of the illustration building and the game dev building or whatever. You can even meet your advisor in person, which is great. But it really helps to have people out there that you can hook up with and stuff like that. Um, and that's where it's like, okay, at first I went because we had online student summer expos. We don't have those anymore. And but then, getting in the Drawaholics, I have friends out there now, and I miss them so dearly, each and every one of you. Ugh, 2020 can go suck itself. Because I was supposed to go out there over the summer, like this was a set in stone thing. And I was gonna watch some of my friends graduate. I was gonna go see them in the spring show that was awesome this year, and of course it had to be online because of pandemic, and everything got canceled. Ah, okay, I'm sorry. Shh. Bye. Go. Go, go, go. We'll talk more in the workshop. I'm sorry. Yes, go. Now, before it's too late and I start on another tangent. Okay. I honestly feel like his torso's a little bit too long. So I'm just gonna move this up just a smidge. Break it off there. I really feel like this is way too long. Actually, yeah, honestly, that looks much better. I like it. All right. If I was doing this traditionally, I would have literally gone back and redrawn all that. I would have erased it and gone back and drawn it because I do sometimes get anal like that. I'm like, no, this needs to be fixed because I have seen it and I cannot unsee it. But digitally, it's easy to just move it. And that's where, when you're building up your drafting skills, it's too easy to rely on digital tools. So that's where it's like, hey, I know how, I am also very good at correcting it traditionally. However, since I'm doing this digitally, I can utilize its tools for my purpose. Okay. Yeah, he still looks a little bit long, but I don't know. Honestly, he was way too fun to do. I think he's good though. Yeah, I definitely think he's a good, random, fun scientist, and we had way too much fun doing it. Um, I'm calling him done though. So yeah, just to kind of iterate on a few of the announcements, the semester will be ending this week. So you will see me updating my Instagram on a lot of homework that was done over the semester. Like I said, I've been kind of throwing bits and pieces out there, but I will now be putting more out now that I got the time to actually go back and post stuff. Um, and also, obviously I love to chat on the streams when I work. If there's anything you want me to talk about, or if there's something that you want to see next week's art, or whatever the case may be, I have a suggestion box on my Twitch page. Please feel free to fill that up with any questions you may have, topics you want to talk about. I do get geeky and nerdy with it, so feel free to pick my brain. You'd be surprised what I know, or what I like to know, or what I would like to learn from you as well. Because I love learning. So by all means, hop in the suggestion box and fire away. Same time next week. I usually try and start around 12:30 Mountain, and that is when I'm rolling the dice and we're setting up and stuff like that. And I look forward to seeing all of you next week. Thank you for joining me on the stream. It was super, super fun, and I hope to see more from you guys, and obviously more from myself. So, as always, stay safe, stay nerdy, and have a great time.